Hi everybody. Welcome to the messy office. We are gonna do some wool winding, and then hopefully, if everything goes to plan, we will switch tactics and move over to some actual crochet. So we've got some nice yarn. And stuff that I got from the shop the other day. Because Cat Mom was so nice and gifted us the crochet cockatiel. So we just had to, get going with actually winding some of this yarn. Now I'm not sure if the stuff will actually wind on this wool winder, so we're gonna find out together, and if that doesn't work, we're just gonna ball it. But we've got some nice, we've got 3 colors here. Because we want to make it more pixel-like, we have a nice white, yellow, and a creamy white. So this should hopefully look a little bit more like pixel. I get that the yellow's a bit extra bright, but I think it'll still look pretty nice, so. I've changed my entire office around, so I'm still getting kind of used to it. We've actually updated the way the pixel camera works. So, his rosy cheeks, those will be in this. And I know pixels are like a really, really dark blue, but because the pattern asks for black and a beautiful couple different colors, I got this sparkle twinkle stuff, which will be really cute for his eyes, and then just some regular old nearly black. And check out this bad boy. Isn't this a pretty yarn bowl? Oh, it's so pretty. So, there's always debate in the crochet world on whether or not you go from the outside or go from the inside. We're gonna try from the inside and hope. We just kind of, and we ended up with the outside anyway. So what happens is in a lot of these yarns they shove the outside strand on the inside, so turns out this yarn bowl is a bit too small for this yarn, but I'm also guessing that this is going to be a bit too small for my yarn too. I have to start this a special way, and I can never remember how I'm supposed to do it. Aha. There we go. Now the problem is actually keeping it tense. This is one of the most fun parts of actually learning how to, do stuff, is ensuring that your yarn doesn't get all knotted and stuff. And we immediately have a knot in it because of the way that the manufacturers put this away. It's a type of modded Minecraft. Oh, it's not working because it's supposed to be like that. So had we actually gotten the middle bit that I had hoped, this probably would have been a bit easier, but we are going to hopefully not make a total mess of this whole thing. Now the problem is that this is all based on pressure, so occasionally the wee plastic pressure holder doodad comes off. But I actually got this all from a local craft shop. What you guys can't see underneath the desk is that the ball has absolutely gone crazy. And is no longer a ball. Sometimes you can get away with like putting it in a bag, and that stops it from getting nearly as bad. I hope one day to get one of like the really super big one of these, because then that handles like all types of yarn. Like right now we're starting to run out of room on the thing. We can get possibly a couple more, but we're probably gonna have to finish the last of it on by hand, which is fine. Like, we expected this, so. Oh, we might actually get away with it. Oh, we got away with it. Look at that. So this spinner is doing what's called caking the yarn. So it takes the yarn from this form and makes it much easier to work with. So like, now I can plop it in my bowl, center pull, and I'm happy. Like, it'll just go. You can also pull from the outside, and then it'll just spin in the bowl, but because this yarn's a bit on the thicker, fluffier side, it's not as easy to do that. And we always want to make sure to take our label, and now I did this wrong. Usually you take the label and you roll it up and you shove it in the center. So when you're coming out, you actually hold it here and you slide it right up, which is absolutely great. So for me, I've just now wrapped it up and shoved it in the middle. So that's number one. So we might actually get to some actual crochet, and I'll get to show you the really pretty crochet hooks that Robot got me, which honestly are to die for. Now I see this one's going straight into the center, so if we just gently pull, now we have the long end out. This time, we're going to try... No, we're not gonna try anything, it's just gonna end up doing exactly what it wants to do. So I'm gonna pull this close to me again. And sometimes I get really lazy, and I just thread it through like that, because then I don't have to worry about taking it on or off. And we put that back, and we gently start our winding again. And I just kind of let it go onto the floor because the floor's clean enough in here. It definitely could be cleaner. It's my fault for not doing as much vacuuming as I should have. But I wanted to get more into my crochet and knitting again. I don't do a lot of knit. In fact, I'm really novice with knitting. But I've been crocheting since I was about 5. Like, I don't remember a time when I wasn't able to crochet. So, now before we take it off this time, we figure out where the heck I managed to put the, here. So we wrap this nice and tight like this. We put it in the center, and we pull this straight on to it, and then you have your information right inside your ball. Texel, your bestie Snutch wants to give you something. Bestie Snutch gives you sunflower seed. Oh, you're just gonna throw it? Okay, well, we'll put another one on your feeding platform anyway. There you go. From your bestie Snutch. My mother-in-law is actually learning how to crochet, and she's starting to knit again. So, like, this caking the yarn isn't super necessary if you're, like, a lot of people are happy working off of these. I used to exclusively work off of these. This is just your normal one. But you can get, like, what's called a skein of yarn. And skeins of yarn are really, like, really complicated to get stuff off of. Those are the, like, really cute, artsy, twisted ones. Aww, thanks, Cat Mom. I'm glad you like her. She's based on, Lunix. So I quite like having them caked because I find it easier to just stack them, and then I don't have to, like, worry about them, like, falling or rolling around the place or anything like that. Like they're doing right now. So it takes, like, it also gives you the chance to get all of the knots out of your yarn before you start working with it. Which can be frustrating in itself. I had originally thought about doing this part off stream, but I figured, you know, everybody might want to actually see the whole process. Now, sometimes with a spinner like this, it can go through real quick, and you can end up with a knot anyway, which is what just happened to me. So now I just need to manage to untwist this. And if I'm just very careful, because we're near the end of the skein anyway. And if I'm just very careful, I'll be able to get this all the way off. So this is why this is a loop rather than a permanent fixture, because you can get problems like that. And you just twist it back on. And you're in business again. Now you'll see that I keep moving this hand. That's because the friction of the yarn through your fingers will actually start giving you rope burn. It's like, it gets really sore, so I move my fingers a lot to keep from getting keep from getting it stuck in one spot for too long. I'm also very silly. I forgot to start my actual VTuber, which should be in the corner there, or my lurk bait. There! Now you can see me talking. Hopefully. She's stuck with her mouth open. Oh, it's gonna be one of those days, huh? There we go. Something going on with my sensitivity today, so just move to, because we're gonna leave pixel video on. We'll move to the non-pixel one, because he's in there somewhere. He's hiding. He's right behind this this thing. Alright, so the reason that you want to keep these is that they'll tell you the shade, and then they'll also tell you the lot number. So sometimes you'll run out of yarn, and you'll get really lucky and you can go back to the store, and the lot number will be the same. Which means that you're actually getting the same color and batch of yarn. And that's really important when you're doing crochet, and knit or anything else that involves multiple strands. And that's because if you go back and you get a different color, even if it's the same color, you might not get the exact same shade, because it's hard to get the same shade every single time. So it's just one of those things where you kind of have to hope that if you've run out, that there's more of the exact color left. When we move to, so this here is a piece of woodworking that I've done before. This is actually one of my first ever pieces. And I have it sitting here because when we're done winding the yarn, I'll actually move the camera onto this and have it sit down here like that, so that you guys will be able to see me crocheting around it. But for the meantime, we're gonna stay up there where you can see the wool winder better. The winding's going a lot faster than I thought it would. I see what's happening. It thinks that I'm talking because the winder's loud. So we'll bump the sensitivity way up. It's still gonna talk. Oh, there we go. That's better, hopefully. Nope. Oh, well, maybe I'll just have to keep talking while I do this. That'll solve the problem, right, guys? Also, I might do VTubing, but that's just because half the time I look like crap. And I know all of my besties and my husband will tell me that I don't, but there's a lot of effort getting ready to stream. Like, I just don't have the patience to do my makeup and all that kind of stuff. So I opted for the PNG tuber because I thought it was just a nicer, like, alternative to, like, stressing about getting myself, like, ready and presentable. Like, yeah, my hair's brushed, but that's what it kind of looks like after just sitting out all day. Like, I haven't done anything like strenuous, and it just like knots itself up and does whatever the hell it wants to do, and it's just like, I can't be bothered. Yeah, that's right, Pixel. So we actually rotated Pixel's camera this way, and we moved it onto this little like gimbal-y thing, and that's actually made it so that we're not zoomed in as much anymore. So hopefully Pixel's actually clearer. He's angry because, you know, I pointed at him, but also, I apologize to friends that might have wanted to join me on stream today. I thought that it's kind of time that I start trying to push myself a little bit more on the solo stuff. So I thought today would be one of my first, well, one of my first solo creative streams since in 2026. I thought it could also, like, I just thought it would be nice to, you know, do a little bit on my own. Not that I don't love chatting with you guys on the Discord and all that, like, I just thought, you know, one of my goals for this year is to actually kind of become more, a little bit more independent. Yeah. I do love my collabs with you, Snutch. Like, those are great, and I love the Sunday board games and the Saturday go balls with Rook. Oh, speaking of streaming and stuff, instead of streaming the 10-minute, the 5-minute sketches that I have available on my Coffee account, I was going to set them to music and do a sped up version and post them on my YouTube. So if you guys, if anybody wants one of the 5-minute sketches, you can go to my coffee account and my commissions page, and you can get yourself a 5-minute sketch. And I will do a little recording of me doing the sketch. Much easier if you choose a digital sketch, but traditional will work too because I have the setup. And I will set it to music. Brooke, if as soon as somebody says you can donate, the first thing you do is donate. Need to start blocking you on being able to see when I'm asking for money and stuff. So if I'm right, this should hopefully fit better into this bowl, but we'll see. Once again, we pull from the center, so you'll see that this yarn will take a bit longer because it's a lot thinner. But it's the same principle. We just put it down in a thing and we hope. Now, there's been a couple of times when, if you don't want it rolling all over the floor, you can put it into a bag and hang the bag up. I have this one that robot let me get. It says, finish what you started, human. It's from, the little dust sprites are from Spirited Away. I have a crap ton of stitch markers. Stitch counter, which is the old style. I have a new one that's on my actual crochet hooks. And then I have this cute little star, which actually has a blade in between each one of these. And so you just put the yarn into it and you go click, and it comes right off. So I didn't get to cake that one yet. This is a project I've been working on, which, if you've been looking at my Discord, this is the crochet jumper that I said that I wanted to finish. These are a couple of hanks that I did before for the crochet jumper. And what I'm gonna do... Oh yeah, the buttons for my jumper. Aren't they so pretty? They got little birds on them. I mean, I said I didn't want to become the bird girl, but I think it's a bit too late. I think we've gone past the I don't want to become the bird girl and gone straight to I'm clearly the bird girl. So anyway, you can take your basket, you can hook it around here, and now it's actually on the, it's attached to this. Then you can take your yarn and you can drop it in there, and now instead of going around on the floor, it's going around your little bag. Yeah, I leaned into the bird girl thing a little while back. So, done my stretch, and I'm sitting up straight again. And, well, unless Robot's feeling like going down the stairs, I ran out of water. Now, sometimes this bag trick doesn't work. And you have to get a little bit creative. So I put the other side of the bag over my leg, and I'm holding it down now. But you can see how much harder this yarn is to hate. I have nothing against this particular version of a wool winder, except the fact that it really doesn't hold very well. Cat Mom, you have no room to talk. You are partially responsible for the fact that I got Pixel. You can blame yourself for me being a... What the hell are you doing? To be fair, I mean, look at his cute little face. Occasionally the yarn gets just in the right spot and you can do a couple of quick little, quite a number of quick little spins, which is really helpful. Sometimes, even though you had it in a bag, it jumps out and goes on the floor anyway. And then it jumps into your lap again. So I actually had two cameras for this office. One that I had stolen off of Robot after we met and got married and all that. And then my original one that I had used to talk with him when we were first dating. Pixel, like many birds, likes wires. So he ended up eating the wire of the my original webcam. And I tried it out today, and unfortunately that webcam doesn't work at all anymore. I tried fixing it, and it's just not having it. So you'll notice I still have two webcams. The webcam that I am currently using for the yarn is actually another one that I stole off of Robot. So I very much do need to get a second webcam. I have one picked out that I have on my Throne account. But it turns out that that one's basically as expensive as this one that's in the CEX shop. The one in the CEX shop is like 70 quid, which is okay. It's not quite as it apparently has like AI in it and can like automatically move to follow stuff, which would be like really good for a Pixel cam if it works. I have no idea if it actually would work, so I've considered it, but I haven't like actually like jumped on it, obviously. And then there's the one that I have on my, like I said, I have on my Throne account. And the one on my Throne account, that one has a way for me to like attach it random places. Like it has like a little stand and everything. And I thought that one would be like really good for being able to do some like traditional art and stuff, because I could position it a bit better and have it like attach onto things. And plus, I forgot that we had this thing. Where did it go? If I see it, I'll pick it up and show you guys. We had this like little tripod thing that I forgot that we had. That like literally sits on the desk. It's really cute. Okay, so here's that like cute twinkle one that we were talking, that I finally finished winding. This one took a lot longer than the other ones, as I said. We just pull it off. Sometimes you gotta do a little bit more before you get it off. So then you take the little string here, and when you put it in your bowl, you wrap it here. And now, instead of spinning all over your floor, it'll spin nicely like this in the yarn bowl for you. And that can be much easier. And then because it has this cute little like swirly doodad, you can take your yarn in and out without having to cut it. So like if you change projects or decide that you need to change yarn, but you don't want to cut the yarn that you're currently working with yet, you can literally just pull it out of the bowl, which is great. Final yarn. Let's see if we can find, there it is. Into the bag it goes. So this is a small black yarn ball, because when I went in to get all of this yarn, I got this because look how bloody pretty it is. Like, and it's a nice solid wood. It's a really smooth finish on the inside, so the yarn won't get caught. So this was like 15 pounds, and then I got another, like, I got more patterns because there were these card patterns, and they were adorable, and I can't wait to make one for Nearly. We're starting with this one simply for the fact that it was bought by Cat Mom. So we want to, like, you know, it was a redeem for the channel, so we're gonna do the nice thing for the channel. And the little bat's gonna be really adorable to do as well. So I'm excited to get to that. Ooh. It started doing that because it fully came off of the table. So yeah, like I said, eventually I'd like to get one of these that isn't plastic. There's some really nice, like, bigger wooden ones that I've seen. But at the minute, I'm happy doing, this. Happy with the one that I have. We're still a little bit Christmassy with our, Lofi girl. What happened? Sometimes these things happen, and we need to figure out very carefully and gently why they have gone haywire. And that's part of keeping the tension really nice while you're doing this. It's why I can't just let this go by itself, and why I'm constantly just, like, playing with this hand trying to keep it from getting rope burn. So this tiny cake isn't anywhere near as nice as the other cakes, but that's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be functional. So there we go. Tiny cake. It'll work. And it could be worse. I know, because I've had much worse. So there we go. That was our wool winder. I will put this away properly later, but it's kind of good enough for now. Put the old project back where it belongs, into the bag. There we go. You can see my nice keyboard. Now, I'm not a huge user of this stuff. It can be difficult to work with. It's a bit on the, like, super duper fluffy side. So super duper fluffy can be, it's a really great, it's really great for, like stuffed animals and stuff. However, it, does end up being, like, hard to check, like hard to look at. Which hopefully I'll be able to show you guys in a second. I just need to actually go to the, forgot, I'm a bit silly, I forgot to get the, file up, so I don't know how to start my, crochet bit. I'm gonna put this in documents and files, and we'll just throw it in a new folder. I'll have to move it onto my server soon. Alright. So chain, slip stitch, single, single increase, decrease, half double, perform the instructions in the front loop only, back loop only. Okay, cool. Cool. We're gonna, it says to start with the eye. Problem with starting with the eye is that I don't think my dumbass got any white yarn out. I'll have a quick check, because, you know, you need white for the, like, the little shines in their eyes. But there is a good chance that I do not have white yarn at the present second. Is this white or yellow? About to ruin the vibes in this office. That's yellow. Thought I might have gotten lucky, but no. Let's see, is there any other? Oh, this is a really pretty yarn that I got. A local woman dyes this yarn. This is called the Craft Shop. And it's so pretty. I still haven't figured out what I'm gonna do with it yet. It's a dark yellow. This is off-white, but it's white enough, maybe? And I seen your comment, Cat Mom. I'm sorry, I was mean to myself. Just frustrated I forgot a thing. Because my yarn stash, the actual big stash, is hard to get to. I have like a small stash, like here in my closet behind my desk here. But where I need to go for the white is hard to get at. So we're going to skip the eyes, even though the eyes are supposed to be done first. We're going to skip the... Also, you can see now better the difference between the white and the yellow, hopefully. It's a lot easier to see in the bright white light of my overhead, but I like to use Pixel's light. So, we'll start with the head and body. So, the head starts off with a brighter yellow. And now this, the patterns will tell you, so, first of all, the UK patterns and the US patterns are different, which is a pain in the ass. And then you have, gonna go down to a 6, I think. Yeah, 6 is perfect. So you have the US and the UK patterns, and then you have the US and the UK sizes for crochet hooks. Now, I prefer the UK sizes, because, I mean, a 5mm, a 5mm, a 5mm, but, like, the American sizes are, like, G, H, 1, 2, 3, and I'm like, what the hell do you want? So. It lights up! Gonna go with the light, slightly dimmer light. So you start with a magic ring, and like everybody does a magic ring different. I'm pretty sure magic rings are just done on hopes and dreams. Now, where did my... So I always mark the first stitch of the row. And so here's a little ghosty. Got this from a local woman. So yeah, like I said, magic rings can basically sometimes just be hopes and dreams. Like, there we go. Look at all that fluff. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So increase in each. So I go stitch. So one of the things you want to be careful of is not using this dead yarn tail. You want to make sure that you're using the actual, like, proper. That's 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, Now it doesn't say anything about turning or chaining one, so we're just gonna, we've got the 6, so now we're just gonna go straight into the 1, 2. Eight, 9, 10. I kid you not, this is so soft. I have tried working on this in black before and could not see a stitch. Okay. So that was 3. Crochet. Now I'm not reading the pattern out to you guys because, well, that just wouldn't be fair on the creator. If you would like the pattern, I will be dropping the pattern later. I will update the YouTube video to have the pattern link, and I will also be adding it into my Discord channel, so you guys will be able to get it. Yeah, Pexel. This music is so chill. There's not much I can do about the camera blowing out a little bit on this yellow because it's actually quite dim in here. I think the camera is just like freaking out for freaking out's sake. So what you'll see in some patterns is that they'll vary when the increases, and that helps keep it a little bit more round, because otherwise you end up with a giant hexagon. And it's nice to see that this pattern is actually one of the ones that vary. It just offsets it a little bit to make it more round. Now, the eagle-eyed among you will probably be able to do this pattern. Having watched my stream. However, like I said, I'd really appreciate it if you do decide to do it, to make sure that you go and get it from the actual creator. Okay, let's see. Finished 5. Have you gotten small enough for the bowl yet? Quite. One can live in hope. Yeah, it's just a lovely little circle. So I have a D&D campaign that I am hosting tomorrow, and I haven't done it since before Christmas, and it's one of the first times I'm actually like properly trying to DM. And I'm nervous. I mean, it's just my husband and a friend. So it's like seriously zero pressure at all. And yet I'm still sitting here like, I have to do what? And it's really just, I'm just having to get something ready for tomorrow's session. But I think it's mostly gonna end up them being leveling up. So I'm gonna go and over prepare, and then it's gonna be mostly them leveling up. But I have an idea of what I'm gonna have them do. So hopefully it won't be too terrible. Does Cat Dad enjoy DMing? Oh, jeez. I am excited to hear that. And, maybe we'll have to have him DM a text, campaign for the two of us. I hope I got enough yarn for this project. It really is just the softest thing in the world. Oh, this is gonna be so cuddleable. I am so excited. No, it's not gonna work. See, I could have gotten the other, like, I could have gotten more of the stuff to do it. Because the pattern calls for both types, but this is the one that was in the picture, and I really, really wanted the fluffy one. So that's why I went and bought the fluffy yarn. Okay, so now we're gonna start merging into this off-white, aka cream. So it goes. Crochet is just fancy counting. Hello. Two. Yeah. Two, three. One increase, two increase, three increase. Oh, I hate when you lose count. Okay, so that's an increase. It's so much harder to tell in this yarn. Six, and that's an increase. Two. Six. one of the things that I've learned when you change color is you don't finish the stitch in the color that you were working. You finish the stitch in the color that you're going to. Now you want to leave a long enough tail and there's different ways that you can join. Since this is a plushie, I'm just going to end up knotting these two together after we finish our increase and stitch 3. That's 1. That's the 2 for the increase, and then 1, 2. Now you'll notice that I don't count every single row or every single stitch. I do, but I don't. I count them in their sets, but I don't worry about counting them like individually and keeping a running count. And that's just because I've been crocheting for so long that it's just easier for me to recount it out. Or it's faster for me to just count it out and then figure it out as I go. So here's the nifty little thing. I come up here and I just go boop. It goes right through. Now this yarn kind of like falls apart. It's tons of fun. But then I'm just gonna come back here. I'm gonna do a little overhand loop knot like that. Pull the 2 yarns through. And then very gently push them so that they're nice and tightly knotted here. And that is our color transition right there. Now it's like however you want to do it, but like that's how I was taught. And then you can like weave these in, or you can just like, because it's a plushie, you can leave them dangle. I'm gonna leave them dangle on the inside because it's a plushie, which means it's gonna be hidden on the inside anyway, so I'm not super uber worried about it. But you do what's most comfortable for you. If you wanna weave in the ends, you can weave in the ends and do all that kind of stuff. I'm still hoping that Robot will get up and walk past and get me some water, but I might have to go down for a second and get it myself. Robot had a long day today. It's week 2 of actually being back to work, which is ugh. Finished 8 and now it's single crochet 5. One, and then we put our stitch marker in. And then our increase. Oh. Now I made a mistake. I didn't read this properly and didn't realize that we should actually just be dragging along the top. So this one is, that one was wrong. So what we're gonna do is we're going to come back here and we're gonna knot these together. Pretend that I'm not an idiot. And didn't miss an instruction. This fluffy yarn is the absolute worst to knot. All the fluff just comes right out. So when you're doing floats on the back of your project, which is what this is what's considered a float. We just make sure that there's like a lot of loose behind. And try not to pull We don't want this to get pulled too tight. We want it to be all nice and plushy still. Now there's like certain ways that you can do stuff. Like if we go back here to the first, work with me? Did you knot yourself? There we go. Come on. Yeah, the problem with this yarn is sometimes you can't see why it's not coming back out. So, this is the first stitch of the row. You can actually, like, come along and, like, right here, I can just add it in. So I'm holding onto it with this. I'm just pulling it through so that it's on the outside, but it's just caught. And that keeps my floats from being too long. And that's just a personal preference of mine. I don't know if it's the right way to do it. It's just the way I do it. Sometimes you can keep it, like, you can just do it for every single stitch. I don't like to do it for every single stitch because that can make the stitches a bit more bulky. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So single crochet 5. So we're gonna bring the yellow over now. I'm just gonna make sure that that yellow has some nice amount of room on that float. And now single crochet 37. Now, so this is 5, and I'm gonna just do a little bit of a float grab here. That's 10. Now, this way can eat a bit of yarn, especially if you're only doing like back and forth up here. But, it's completely up to you. Like, we can go back very carefully with this yarn, because this yarn has a tendency to want to fall apart. And leave it like this. Ah. So it's starting to curl because we didn't add any increases in this row. And that's exactly what we wanted. So I'm just going to grab onto this stitch here. I'm going to look at this. So I'm not a big fan of like big long floats. So I'm actually just going to come here and there's not a lot that we can do. We can run it like that. So what we're doing is we're trying to be able to catch it a little bit. But we just want to make sure that we don't pull it too tight. Like I said, we'll undo that last stitch ever so slightly. We want to make sure that we're not getting our yarns too tangled, because they like to get tangled when we're doing floats. So we just make sure that we have just enough excess on the inside to not be pulling our little cockatiel too tight. And the first thing that we did was pull it a little bit too tight. Now I have a tendency to immediately go to a half double crochet, and that's just because I did it a lot. It's one of my normal stitches. There we go. 1. I'm just gonna catch both the white and the yellow here. I'm gonna catch just the white, not both the white and the yellow. So that's 5. And then on my 6th stitch, I'm gonna catch that yellow to tie that float off. So that way that float's not getting too long either. Again, this is just personal preference. I like that it keeps this from getting way too long. There's other things that you can do. You can like double up the crochet so that way you're crocheting one and then crocheting the other, but that eats a lot of yarn. So that was 9. Now I forgot to put my stitch marker in, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this long boy here is 7. See, that's just how I'm like tacking my stitches on. Keeps it a little bit more neat. Now we do 34. Once again, just make sure we have enough float there. a little tight. So you'd always rather it be a little bit too loose and a little bit too tight, because you don't want your, you don't want it puckering on you, which will make it look like really silly. Like I said, I just like to pull the yellow, my float behind, and make sure that it tacks in every couple of stitches, just to, you know, make it a little bit easier. You can get a little bit stiff while you're leaning over and crocheting. Is that right, Pexel? So you can leave the stitch markers in to mark every row. I usually don't need to, but it can show you how the pattern actually spirals outwards. So your stitches aren't stacked properly, they actually go on this cute little like spiral. For example here, now that I've done my first stitch, you can already see that we're offset. So if you actually follow the stitches back, the first one kind of comes down and could be anywhere along that line. Now there is some like debate on whether you want to float or whether you want to cut, and really it's all about how much yarn you're going to save between having a float versus having it cut off and then restarted. This is getting to like the edge of where like a float might be worse. But it's coming along. Got a nice little, like, stepped patch here. It's adorable. 13. Now just move this one up. Ooh. Definitely think I'm gonna have to get another ball of this, off-white. Everybody surviving this week okay? I know for me it's been a bit of a struggle with world events. I had a lot of trouble this week, just yesterday and today, getting into concentration zone. Just found it so much more difficult than normal to not be doom scrolling the internet. Hello, Wit? Wit? Hello, Pixel? Is your light usually off by now, buddy, huh? Is that it? Because Mommy turned it on to stay on. You don't know what to do. You were sleeping all day, though. Kala even can back me up on that one. You okay? Now, the way I decrease is I pull up from one and then I go into the second one. I basically make a half double crochet, but it pulls everything together a little bit nicer. And I've let the yellow foot go for a little bit too long. Kala, darling, I'd like to show you something. It's a little thing called I know. I watch Snatch on my phone while I'm streaming. Because I'm terrible. See? Would you like a sunflower seed, Bubby? Yeah. That one's from Kala. I do appreciate the reminder. I mean, especially since you want to take my, spot. Oh yeah, I have a little, cell phone churn. Little cockatiel one. And, I also have a cockatiel keychain, which I will post, in my Discord later. I got one for Cat Mom as well. I hope Snutch laughed, because I texted to you in, Snutch's channel. Hopefully that went through properly. No idea if it did. I think it did. So that was a decrease, that was 1. I forgot to tag any of that white along. It doesn't, like I said, it doesn't really matter if you actually tag it. It just keeps this a little bit easier to deal with, maintain. Still. Yeah, Pixel and I have conversations all the time. Especially since he understands inflections. So, like, what you doing? Is one of his phrases. He can do go poop. Who's a good boy? And he also just yammers. So what I do is when he starts like just blah 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 blah, I'll just ask him questions and he'll just go on these like really cute little tangents. And you just imagine what he's saying because he's like really invested in telling you whatever he's telling you. And so you just ask, and then what happened? Oh, what happened after that? How are you doing after that? Like, what's going on? Like, and he just keeps going, and it's adorable. Right up until he starts screaming. The screaming will get you. And like the nice thing is, cause he's in my office during the day, sometimes he'll just start while I'm like at work, and I'll just lean back, like my chair leans back properly, and I'll lean back right next to him, like this, and I'll look over and I'll be like, so what are you doing? Did I lean down? Did I get too far in your space? Hi, buddy. Hello. What you doing? You doing the let me out dance? That's the let me out dance, huh? I can't. There's a puppy around. Yeah, you just do that. You can sit and have like little conversations and stuff. No. Doing this one now. Wait. Do I have enough? Aww. I'm sure Steve loved every minute of it. Aww. Sometimes you end up messing up somewhere, and you do what's called frogging. And there's a joke But it's called frogging because it sounds like a little bit like a ribbit, ribbit, ribbit as it goes back. I'm only gonna take it, I only need to take it back to, so that's stitch 1. That's 1, 2, 3, and now a decrease. Tack yellow again. X. Decrease. J. If you ever catch that on camera, Kala, I want to see it. So this is 2, 3, 4, 5. And now we have the right number of stitches. So, it is 11 o'clock. We have just finished row 14. So what I do is I take one of my stitch markers and I put it in the hook as though it's a crochet hook. I can then turn my hook off, and that is where we've gotten with the cockatiel so far. Now we're going to keep going and hope that we don't run out of any of the colors. I have a feeling that we are going to need another one of these creams, but that is not a problem right this second. And we'll see how everything goes. I'm really looking forward to finishing this off and seeing a nice little plushy pixel, which is gonna be a fairly decent size. I mean, it's a pretty good one. So, YouTube friends, if you like hanging out, make sure you drop a subscribe so you can find out when I'm going live next. And Twitch friends, stick around and we'll be raiding out. And I will see everybody next time. Thanks for coming, everyone.